If there's anything I can be certain of in my time in Vyra, it's that this land holds both light and life. The riverlands itself is a sight to behold, mountain peaks as high as the clouds and forests as perfect as the warmth of a noonday sun. But to every light there is a shadow, and to every dark corner, there's evil lying in the wait. And sometimes, that evil is just waiting for the right person to find it. In their rage and malice against the being that took their strength, the vicious warband searched for a means of great power. To lash out in such horrific fashion, they needed devastating strength, and they needed it quickly. According to a Linehold guard who was manning the North Tower during the second watch, 4 figures, with cloaks as dark as night, moved to the Linehold's archives. But as quickly as he had seen them, they were gone. Little did he know what was to happen inside. The warband, using the shadows, made their way to the archive in search of something, anything that could give them what they sought. But even amongst the ancient texts, nothing could be found except for one book, one tome. Buried under the dark corners of the archive, deep beneath layers of dust and books, a black tome was found. It had no name, no engravings to mark its identity, save for one. On the binding, a symbol as red as blood had been carved into the dark leather, the tome's edges frayed from the knife that had so violently etched the engraving. Like tendrils from an arc of lightning, the symbol reached out unnaturally, covering the tome, as if to consume the large tome itself. It was here the seed to their power was planted. Gathering around the tome, covered by their dark cloaks, they opened it. Tribal etchings and unknown runes filled the pages. There were pictures depicting a realm under their feet, an entire civilization lost to time. The rest was unreadable, save for one page. Within the tome, the group discovered an ancient ritual, one of darkness and of blood. It detailed how, at the sacrifice of an innocent, one could draw upon the very essence of Vyra, and through exploitation of blood magic, infuse themselves with unrivaled ferocity and strength, acquiring in an instant what would take 1 year to attain. But to complete the ritual, they would need 3 things: a full moon, which they had, an innocent life, and to complete the ritual on the north face of the mountainous graveyard, Grave Peak. As silent as death, the warband snuck out of the archive, leaving Linehold and making their way north. Along the way, they encountered a traveler on a caravan, who was hoping to arrive at their destination unnoticed due to the nightly hour. Burning his caravan, the traveler was bound, gagged, and thrown over the back of his own horse that had led his caravan moments before. Not much else is known about what happened that night, but Northern Halcyon patrols documented a ghastly red hue coming from the northern mountains, with flashes of lightning reaching out to the sky. What emerged the following morning from Grave Peak were no longer men, but warriors of shadow. Their very robes had become tattered, burned at the edges, and smelling of dark magics. They had succeeded in their exploitation. In their tainted strength, the raiders began their short but brutal campaign across Vyra. They would slaughter countless innocents. They spared their blade for no one, not even the women or the children. A Winstead clerk even reported a great slaughtering at the city Ember Shrine, the screams of death carrying on the breeze to those in the vicinity. But as their attacks rose in brutality, so did their voice. The warband cried aloud with threats, promises of action to those who'd stand in their way. And it was here, where just as quickly as their violent campaign had begun, Vyra would see it end, at the hands of the Great Houses, no less. I'll share further in my next report.